It was the dark fog which hung like a brooding black cape that suffocated your senses during the year 536 AD. When days turned to weeks, one feared for their crops, which was a main source of daily nourishment. Rarely had nature shown so swiftly that the end of civilization could happen at any time. No matter your defenses, desires, and wishes, nature seemed to have its own destiny to fulfill. Summer was noticeably cooler in most of the northern hemisphere. You could not see the sun or feel its life-giving rays for weeks at a time. One could not imagine what humans had done to deserve such angry wrath from the sky above. During the historic period of 536 AD, a horrific weather event caused crop failures while poor animal health decimated livestock. The nightmare which was unfolding was that the sun had virtually disappeared, its warming rays blocked from reaching millions of people over much of the earth. Even learned members of society at this time had no real answers, just incredulous wonder. Procopius of Caesarea, a prominent scholar, said of this bleak period, "The sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon, during this whole year." Roman statesman Cassiodorus wrote, "A winter without storms, a spring without mildness, and a summer without heat." Around the world, no one knew the cause of this dark, never-ending nightmare. Michael the Syrian, noted medieval author of the Chronicle, wrote the following concerning 536 AD. "The sun became dark, and its darkness lasted for 18 months. Each day it shone for about 4 hours, and still this light was only a feeble shadow. Everyone declared that the sun would never recover its full light. The fruits did not ripen, and the wine tasted like sour grapes." Why did the sun disappear in 536 AD? During 536 AD, darkness fell upon a significant area of Earth for 18 months due to a mysterious fog. It was also the beginning of the period known as the Late Antique Little Ice Age. This cooling period in the Northern Hemisphere lasted until about 660 AD. So, can we answer today what frightened unknowing people during the year 536 AD could not? Why did this horrific weather event of 536 AD happen? Whether it originated in Iceland, Krakatoa, or any other possible location does not change the fact that this catastrophic climate event did occur. Without doubt, modern researchers have discovered strong evidence this abnormal climate occurrence brought devastating consequences around the globe. Let us now reveal answers that the unfortunate people of 536 AD could not find. At the time of early 536 AD, a series of major volcanic eruptions began. When a volcanic eruption happens, sulfur, bismuth, and other materials spew high in the atmosphere, forming an aerosol shroud or veil. Then, sunlight is reflected back into space, cooling this planet's temperature. We know that by early March in Constantinople, the residents noticed darkening skies overhead and cooler temperatures. Soon, an ash cloud spread its veil, causing a summer temperature drop between 1.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius in Europe, parts of Africa, and parts of Asia. The fine particles from this ash cloud remained high in the atmosphere, suspended by minute turbulence in the air. Temperatures dropped as the sun's rays were blocked and the rain did not fall, creating droughts and famine. This darkness, which mainly affected the northern hemisphere, lasted for a period of 18 months. As time moved forward, since the natural evaporation process was blocked, rivers began to flood. Crop failures dominated the lands under this darkness, with famine and starvation common throughout many areas. Researchers have stated that 536 AD began the coldest decade in the northern hemisphere for the last 2,000 years. Without a wealth of information available today which survived from 536 AD, science has provided valuable knowledge to help us understand that horrific year. As a result, valuable research is proving dramatic observations quoted from that period have a strong basis in reality. Statements by people like Cassiodorus and Procopius have been vindicated to a large extent thanks to recent scientific advancements. Enter the field of dendrochronology, which is dating events and climate variations in earlier periods by comparative analysis of growth rings in trees and aged wood. Tree ring studies between 536 AD and 547 AD show a decade of slow growth, whether it be in European oaks, Scandinavian pines, or even trees in northern Siberia. The tree rings examined in that decade indicated poor temperatures and growth environments. Additional scientific proof gives us even more valuable insight. Evidence in cores taken from the ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica show an abnormal cooling event occurred around 536 AD. Large sulfate deposits and layers of ice core samples that were collected indicate a widespread dust veil existed when climate conditions worsened in 536 AD. These large sulfate deposit levels usually follow major volcanic eruptions, with the temperature drop indicating a volcanic winter after the eruptions occurred. It is estimated these activities cooled temperatures for a decade, with much of Europe and Asia experiencing a noticeably cooler summer. The Northern Hemisphere seemed to be particularly affected by darkness. Medieval Harvard historian Michael McCormick stated this about 536 AD. It was the beginning of one of the worst periods to be alive, if not the worst year. In the year 640 AD, glacial ice samples showed evidence of atmospheric lead, suggesting that silver mining was happening. This indicated signs of a noticeable upturn with economic activity. In modern times, many would propose the beginning of the 2020 pandemic as the worst year in history. Certainly, it was among the worst, though when one considers the magnitude of destruction, horror, and unknown disasters, 536 AD was in a league of its own. Where did the event happen which made the sun disappear in 536 AD? So, where did these eruptions originate which made the sun disappear? There are a number of suspected locations like Krakatoa, though one location continues to gain increasing interest from researchers. We shall now state the most recent suspected location for the 536 AD volcanic eruptions, which is Iceland. In 2018, at a Harvard University workshop, critical information was reported concerning a Swiss glacier studied by leader Michael McCormick and a team of researchers. There, it was revealed that a massive volcanic eruption in Iceland was responsible for the ash clouds across the northern hemisphere during the year 536 AD, followed by two other massive volcanic eruptions in 540 and 547 AD. While examining ice originating from springtime 536 AD, University of Maine graduate student Laura Hartman discovered two microscopic particles of volcanic glass. In her quest to determine their chemical signature, she and University of Maine volcanologist Andrei Kurbatoff found that these glass particles were a close match to ones found in both lakes and peat bogs located in Europe. Furthermore, they also resembled those found in a Greenland ice core, which themselves were a close match to volcanic rock samples from Iceland. It is these chemical signature similarities which also made geoscientist David Loewe of the University of Waikato state the particles in the Swiss ice core sample most likely came from the same Icelandic volcano. Recently, the events which occurred at Eyjafjallajökull volcano held Western Europe in an ash cloud which would cause widespread disruption. When volcanic activity at this Icelandic location reached its second phase on April 14, 2010, ash covered major areas of the northern European continent. This eruption rated a 4 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, with an ash plume rising approximately 9 kilometers into the air. When one remembers the Mount St. Helens eruption of 1980, it ranked 5 on the same index. As a result of the Icelandic eruption, it is estimated 20 countries closed their airspace. With this major eruption, water sources were contaminated and farmers instructed to protect their livestock. Agricultural activities were also made difficult in ashfall areas. Thank you for supporting us at Medieval Modern. Please be sure to watch our next episode or one shown at the end of this video. Also be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and spread the word about this channel so we can create more exciting content. I wish you good tidings as we remember that sharing knowledge has been a noble deed throughout the ages.